Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and we have just heard from Doug Emhoff, the husband of Vice President Kamala Harris, the former Democrat presidential candidate, and he revealed why it's so tough to be her husband. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please visit that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica. And when you get there, please hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. Doug Emhoff gave a speech for Christmas and Hanukkah, which fell on the same day this year, and I find that apropos because I don't remember Christians and Jews ever being as united in my lifetime as they are right now. And it's a beautiful thing. We have to, in my opinion, defend the state of Israel. They are a force for good in the world, and they're fighting the enemies of civilization. It's that simple. Emhoff gives a speech, and he says, he thought the toughest part of being her husband when she got elected as vice president was going to be that he's the first man in that role. But he says that wasn't the toughest part for him. No, the toughest part for him was being the first Jewish person in that role. And then he goes on to praise how his wife, allows him to express his faith, openly and honestly and not be ashamed. I'm not going to get into what I think of how Emhoff presents himself as a Jewish person. It's none of my business. And I'm not going to get into, any of his personal stuff. But I am going to get into the fact that, Mr. Emhoff, your wife was part of the administration that has made this nation really tough on Jewish people right now. She has defended the indefensible. I haven't seen her give a strong condemnation of anything. In fact, she condemned Israel for the way it's been treating Gaza. Now, of course, she condemned the terrorist attacks of October 7th, was the least she could do. And she did, in fact, she did the least. And then she releases a video during the campaign, basically talking about the atrocities of Gaza and how she's going to get the Jewish, state, accountable. She's going to hold them accountable for what they're doing in the Gaza Strip. She ran that ad in a majority Muslim market, then goes to a predominantly Jewish market in Pennsylvania, runs an ad where she stands with Israel and what they're doing in the Gaza Strip. Two completely different messages for two completely different audiences because she's disingenuous. Donald Trump took a decisive stand to stand with Israel. He didn't mince words. He didn't go to Michigan and say, I stand with the Palestinians and Gaza. He didn't do that because he just says what he believes in. That's important. It's important for a politician, to say, hey, this is what I believe in. This is where I stand. Your wife didn't do that, Mr. Emhoff. And as a Jewish person, I don't know how that doesn't bother you. I don't know how any of this doesn't bother you. I want you to watch his little video here and let me know what you think in the comments.
I thought coming into this role that being the first guy ever would be a big deal. But it really turned out being the first Jew was a big deal. And I took that as a responsibility. I feel and felt very accountable being the first Jewish person in this role. And with that accountability and responsibility meant action. The other thing that I did with your help was to live my faith, which is different from hers, but with her support, openly and proudly, joyfully, and without fear.
Yes.